Hey guys, it's Spider Pig here again, and today we're going to talk about Litchi, or Litchi. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's an app that basically kind of expands the capabilities of the DJI Phantom 3 standard, and we'll talk about some of the features. I didn't do all the features, so this will be a part of one of the review. Hopefully we'll be able to get out there again sometime and test the other features as well. I know I'm not wearing my flight suit today. The thing is, it's a pain in the butt to put on, and I'll show you exactly why. I'm wearing a funky boot. Let me show you the side first. Woo. So, it's been ongoing for like a couple months, but I don't want to bore you with it. I'm probably going to have to wear it for a little bit of time anyway, so it's tough to get in and out and get changed, so no more flight suits for a little bit. So, let's talk about Litchi. Litchi, I think, costs about $15, I want to say. And what it does is it's connected to your drone, just like your DJI Go app, and it does a lot more capabilities. Two capabilities that I was specifically looking at, and that's what I tested today, was the follow mode, which will allow you to kind of select who you want to follow and have the drone follow that person, and the waypoint mode, which I think is a little more complex than the DJI Go app version of waypoints, because in that you actually have to fly the waypoints, record them, and then you can come back and it'll fly the waypoints. As I understand it, I may be not understanding that correctly, but that's the way I understand the DJI Pro app to do. In Litchi, what you can do is you can actually go in and kind of set the waypoints, set the height, set where you want them to look at, and do kind of a lot of cool different features. Not only that, but you can actually do it while you're at home. You can go to their Litchi hub, I believe it's called, and you can actually plan your flight before you even go to the field, download it to your phone, and just when you get there, fly. So we did that. So in the first part of the test, I wanted to try to do the follow me mode, and we'll just go to the video of that. So I think with the Litchi app, you have to kind of pinch and select the person you want to track, and I think it had a hard time with it. Now, it might be because I was using the iPhone. It's kind of small image to begin with, and maybe I didn't pinch correctly. But as you can see, it got confused with the goal there. It couldn't follow me very well, and I guess what I was hoping for was not only for it to follow me, but to also kind of keep up with me as I was walking in different directions. You can see it's kind of getting confused to where I am. Now, it did kind of follow me somewhat panning-wise, even though kind of abruptly, but it did kind of get into the groove of it, but it got confused a lot. I was able to watch the monitor, and it did get confused a lot whether it was tracking me or the goal, and I think it'd be nice if it was better tracking. Now, it does do all the tracking on the app itself, so it is doing a lot of computing there. And as you can see, it got confused quite a bit of times between me and the goal, although I don't think I weigh as much as the goal personally, so I don't know what Litchi's trying to tell me here. But when it was tracking, I think it was a little hard for me to get just me in the right size, and maybe that the software that they're using wasn't able to distinguish me from the field very easily as well. So I don't know. I'll probably do a couple more tests with the follow me mode, especially when I get the Mavic to test the built-in follow me mode with the Go app application. And I'm surprised if the Go app can do it with the Mavic. I don't know if they do it software-wise or hardware-wise, but it'd be nice if they had it for the Phantom standard. But it was kind of nice to see when it did work, that it kind of worked nicely. Again, I would have hoped it was kind of follow me, like not just stand there and just kind of, if I moved further away, that it would come closer and maintain a certain distance from me. So the follow me mode, not as successful as I wanted to be. Hopefully, with the Mavic, once I get it, the follow mode will be a lot better, and I'll just use that for following people around. And then what I wanted to do was test the waypoint mode. And the waypoint mode is very complicated in what you could do with it, and I just kind of wanted to see how it worked. So I just kind of gave it some really quick waypoints around the park. I didn't want to go too far. I wanted to be able to be within visual range. And let's go to the footage. I think it actually came out pretty good. So So for the first test I did with the waypoints, I just kind of had to go around the park. I didn't really specify any kind of points of interest and things like that, and it did seem to kind of try to find some things to look at. And you can see it was kind of trying to rotate there. I think the speed was around 13 miles per hour. I want to say it wasn't too fast. That it was just going around there, and so it was pretty nice. I mean, it was pretty interesting to see it fly by itself. Um, as a person who comes from flight simulators, while I use automatic pilot, I always prefer to kind of fly it myself most times, and it is kind of weird to kind of see a drone fly by itself because you're assuming it's going to come back to you. And I was able to watch it on the screen, kind of following the path, and so I knew it was still listening to me. And I always had visual line of sight on it, so I kind of knew what it was doing, where it was at. If I had to kind of put it down, I knew I could do that as well. But it was definitely interesting to watch it fly by itself, and it did follow the waypoints I set for it, and it kind of took some nice footage here, even though it's a little slow. Again, it was pretty windy. I'd say about 8 to 10 mile per hour gust. I'll have to check it later. And see, but I kind of came around and I'm over there in the parking lot. I found the parking lot was probably the best place to land because it was a good smooth flat surface, and that's where I kept bringing her down, even though it was very windy and landings were a little rough. But overall it was a nice flight. So this is the second flight, and this one I put points of interest on the diamond and one of the houses in that complex ahead of us. So the first thing it did was it flew to the first waypoint. It kind of pointed the gimbal and the drone in the direction of the diamond and kind of flew around it in the specified path. As you can see, if there was a baseball game there going on right now, this would have been kind of a cool shot to kind of do. Although if there was a baseball game right now, I would be flying over people, which would be in violation of the FAA rules. But in theory, it's nice. It's a nice shot, and I kind of like the way it slowly pans and things like that. So I could see definitely using this and various other utilities. But even from there, where it pans to the houses here, you can see the houses very nicely, and it does a really nice slow pan, which is kind of really nice. I have to say, you did a good job with the panning, and I wish I could get this good at some point, and that's what I'm going to work towards to get kind of smooth on the controls as this is doing right now. So those are the houses, and the reason I had it flying backwards is because that way, if it had to speed up, you wouldn't see the propeller blades and things like that. So I think flying backwards is good. Again, I always had visual line of sight on it. I always had my hand as controls in case I had to take it over. As you can see, there's people coming over there to talk to me, and those people, I was kind of showing them the app, and we wanted to see how fast we can get this thing going. So I moved it up from, I think, 13 miles an hour to around 20 miles an hour just to see how fast this thing could go. The other day I had it up to 28 miles an hour, so I'm like, all right, let's just see, same kind of program, how fast it can go. And it did a pretty good job. It was a nice, did a nice flight, and it was definitely a lot quicker. It might not seem like that on the video, but it definitely was at least 10 miles per hour faster, and it's pretty cool to see just how fast this thing can go, even in an automated way. And I also did take it higher. I think I took it up to about 200 feet above the ground. You can see it's going up there, and it was a pretty cool to see it that high. And you could see how well it's just flying and how steady the shot is. It's pretty amazing, even at pretty not high winds, but medium level winds. So it's pretty good, and I was really happy with this flight. And the guys were really impressed, and they were in the area of geocaching, which is another great hobby if you ever want to take up something that gets you outside more. But it was a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed doing the waypoints, and I definitely want to play more with that. So I was really impressed with the waypoint. I mean, it kind of scared the crap out of me to fly it in automatic mode like that because I'm so used to being in control of the aircraft itself, and I think there's something really scary about just relying on the automation. On those flights, the panoramic flights, the wind was getting a little more intense, and at one point when I was trying to come down, I think I hit a thermal because I was putting full down and it was staying where it was. And so I figured I was probably in some updraft or something. I moved a little bit forward, and then I was able to get down without a problem. But yeah, so I was, always in control of the aircraft, so it's kind of good. And then, battery was coming down, so I figured, you know what, let's test the panoramic mode. And I just left the default settings up. I told you to go up. Obviously, put it up there, and it took 36 pictures. I'm still looking for a good application to kind of stitch everything together, but I'll put the free one I found. I'll put what came out of it. It looked pretty cool. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to make it like into a Facebook 360 kind of thing, and try that. But overall, is Litchi worth the was $15? It is. I think so, just for the waypoint stuff. I think there's a lot of good potential in that, especially if you want to do it commercially. You can kind of plan things out ahead of time and kind of just get there and fly it, and it'll look where you want it to look, and it'll just be really nicely done. I was really impressed with like the footage that came out, how smooth it kind of looked, and it controlled the gimbal. It makes it looks good. In reality, I really want to get to the point where I can fly like that and that's smooth, and I think it's going to take some time for me to be able to get that good. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But overall, really good app. Next time, I want to kind of test the orbit mode and a couple of the other modes that it has, and be able to check those out. So, hope you enjoyed it.